Opening the show, a young woman who 12,000 miles away has made a home away from home with the British fans. Ebony Bridges returns after that fabulous WBA clash with Shannon Courtney. She will of course want that rematch, but she's got to get past a Beck Connolly, who for the first time in a long time is coming into a fight off a full count.
Now, Ebony Bridges has made a big name for herself over here, done it her way. She's been putting the work in, she wants another shot at a world title, but she has to get past the tough Beck Connolly.
So our first contest of the night, Ebony Bridges back in action for the first time since that, well, absolute barnstormer against Shannon Courtney for the WBA regular bantamweight world title. As I say, Beck Connolly, long been the late notice opponent, has some mileage and some rounds banked now. What has she got to offer if this one goes down the stretch? Scheduled for 8.
Good right hand for Bridges there. Yeah, Beck Connolly, I see her about an hour ago. She was nervous, but really looking forward to the contest. And like you say, she's at the full camp, and she's desperate to get a win here. Yeah, Callie Reese, when we had her on the show a while back, I won't use the word she used, but she says she has ridiculous strength. And you can see it in there. She really does push herself and force herself onto her opponent. A bit predictable, comes in straight lines, pushes the jab out, like I said, but she does follow it up, usually with a good, powerful backhand.
Yeah, she's perfect sparring for Callie Reese with that Barbara Krasak unification. Stature-wise, style-wise too. Nice right hand over the top there from Ebony Bridges. Lands a 1-2. Beck Connolly responds just a little wide with these hooks.
Got to get that chin down, hands up, chin down, Beck Connolly. Just leaving it out to dry. It was a good overhand right from Ebony Bridges, bringing them up with uppercut. There's a lovely right uppercut, Chris. Beautiful shot.
And she is hurt here, Beck Connolly, with 50 seconds on the clock.
Don't think she wants to know it, Chris.
She's going to have to go into a shell. Right hand over the top from Ebony Bridges, and it's all over for Beck Connolly. How she knew, didn't she, when she touched down, that it was all over, but the referee was right to give her one more chance and smart to step in as quickly as he did. One more clean shot, and that was it. The right hand over the top. That I think the writing was just on the wall for her.
And talk about good matchmaking, this is a solid apprenticeship for Big Johnny.
It is, especially with someone with virtually no amateur experience. I mean, this is a guy who was at Exeter University, was in the rugby team, we knew he could fight. I think this is a good step up, but it's a step much quicker than we anticipated. Johnny Fisher, very, very entertaining, got a great chin. We don't want to see that tested tonight, but can really punch, and really exciting young heavyweight.
The interesting for Danny Whittaker, Darren, who has boxed 10 in his last round, how he goes back and kind of renegotiates the distance, which had gone up. It's difficult to know what pace to manage the round. Certainly we know what kind of pace Johnny Fisher will start at.
Especially when you've got a guy as big as Johnny Fisher in front of you. I mean, you want to go flat out for 4 threes, but it's probably not the best advice when you fight someone as big as Johnny, who is a man mountain. He really is. 22 years old. It's incredible. Throws a lovely overhand right.
Just took the sting out of it, Whittaker, by just turning his head to the right-hand side. Just took the sting out of it, and he would have felt the force. Just tries to come over the top with his own, but misses. I'm speaking to the guys that have sparred Fisher, as he just lands another chopping right on the inside there. Fabio Wardley in particular, he's much looser and quicker than you think he's going to be. He looks like a rugby player, and they're not notoriously loose and fluid. Feinting his way into range, right hand to the body, left hook over the top. Whittaker backed into the corner already.
Just telegraphing that right hand a bit too much, Fisher. And Whittaker's able to ride it and get out of the way. Strong, aggressive start from Johnny Fisher.
Yeah, teach you a lesson. And, well, Danny Whittaker has taught a lesson there, but I think Fisher clipped him on the way down as well. Not the first time that's happened to him. It happened to him against David Adelaide. He was warned for that in that fight. Fisher obviously didn't mean anything by it at all. He was just letting his hands go, and he apologised. But well, Whittaker is hurt here, and Fisher stepping on him. Whittaker backs off, catches a right hand around the side, and Whittaker goes down on a knee again.
Could be it, Chris.
And the big dog is in big trouble. because he's in with the ball tonight and he's been taken apart here. And there's 2 minutes to go in the round, and Johnny Fisher senses blood, putting his hands together. Referee Lee Every having a look at Whittaker, who falls in the corner, and he is saved to fight another day, and the Romford ball rolls on. Johnny Fisher sensed the moment, and he did not hesitate.
No, he didn't. He's a fantastic finisher. He got his man hurt at the start of the round. He just did not let him off the hook.
There is your tale of the tape, and the big tale of this fight is, of course, that 62-pound weight discrepancy. You know, we don't want to bang on about Alan Babich's size. It annoys him for one thing, but I guess if you're Mark Bennett, you know you're going to have to weather an early storm. How do you go about doing that for those first 3 or 4 rounds?
You try and get that size into play, and you do that by grabbing hold of Babich, trying to throw him around a little bit. We know how ferocious Babich is, so if you're trying to push Bennett off, don't blink.
And as you said, Darren, use that weight advantage, push him back, try and hold and spoil early. Catches Babich with a right hand over the top, chops one down, and he must have felt that.
2 big rights there, Chris. Babich fires back with his own right hand. Aggressive start by Bennett. He said he needs to get his size into play early on. He's trying to do so.
Babich high up on his toes, trying to bounce in and out of range, stiff jab. Bennett brings him on, big smile, and just gets caught with a short left hook. Oh, and a big right hand comes through the middle, and the legs of Bennett just stiffen momentarily, and now Babich, sensing the moment, steps on him. Bennett is hanging on, pushing him back, using that weight advantage. But he was hurt there.
He is. Smiling Babich, he loves this, he's sticking his tongue out. Bennett opting to mix fire with fire, big overhand right again from Babich.
The legs of Bennett are betraying him here, they're not stiff underneath him, and Babich has got free rein, trying to set that big right hand up. Smothered his work that time, just giving Bennett a breather. Bennett now back on the jab. Well, if you just joined us, you'd think we were deep into the 9th or the 10th round here, but this is a minute or so into the first, and they're both trading leather. Babich ripping hooks up the middle, uppercut through the centre, and Bennett is hanging on with a minute to go in the opening round. What a start, as we knew it would be. Bennett convinced that he could weather the storm, but he's in deep waters here. Babich is measuring him. Thumps the right hand down the centre, that's hurt Mark Bennett.
Thumb shields out, Chris.
Lee Every just bringing that over to the Bennett corner. Well, we've been hit by heavy rain. He's been hit by thunder and lightning.
He really has, Chris.
And well, Babich has just held his hands aloft for a moment there. I thought they were going to wave it off, but they're back to it. 43 seconds for Babich to get the job done. Mark Bennett is digging in here, but he's going to be vulnerable, letting his hands go. He's in big trouble. Babich thumping away. Lee Every has a look at him. He's called time out again because of the mouthpiece. That may just be giving Bennett some valuable recovery time here, but he is in big, big trouble.
Swap it afterwards. Get back in.
And they're really taking their time cleaning that mouthpiece, and I think they're absolutely right to do so. And Babich is baying to the crowd here. I don't think Mark Bennett can believe what's hit him.
Good solid 1-2 again from Babich.
And Babich puts the hands together again, doubles the left hook. Bennett's trying to keep the hands tight, and he's trying to fly back when he can.
His own left hook.
And as Bennett landed something there, Babich still digging in. 18 seconds. This first round has gone on for about 3 or 4 rounds, and it will feel like much longer for the big man Mark Bennett, who's in the corner. How on earth has he seen this out? As Babich again thumps the right hand home, wings one over the top. Well, enough for a 3-minute highlight reel there. And this is a good spell from Bennett, but is the will enough to match the ferocity of Babich? He just walks forward nonchalantly into range with his hands down, eats a jab.
Good jab by Bennett. He looks spent though, Bennett.
Babich just bouncing around to his left, trying to open up the path for the right hand. Good right hand though from Mark Bennett.
Yeah. He felt that, Babich, no doubt.
He's punching with Babich now. It's the tide just turning for Mark Bennett. Babich swings with him, big left hook. Oh, I thought Bennett was going to just roll over there, but he stayed on his feet. This is absolutely insane.
It really is.
If you're watching this at home, do not take your eyes off the TV. It could end at any moment. Both have gone flat-footed, both just feeling the signs of this ruthless pace so far.
Got to stay switched on, Babich. So eager to let his hands go. He's wide open to the counter. We've seen it, another right hand from Bennett. And again, needs to move his head.
Babich caught and rolled a couple of those shots, and now he's coming back at Bennett, who's, credit to him.
Oh, good one too.
Eats another right hand.
And again, needs to finish on the left hook, Babich.
Bennett just lifts that chin up, the hands come down, he's so tired.
Oh, another big right hand from Bennett there. Shaking the head.
Back and forth, old school violence this. Heads come together. Babich rips a left hook into the body. What a way to warm the crowd up on a very cold, rainy night. And Babich again thumps the right hand in. Bennett kept the hands tight, and somehow he sees out another round. Deep breath from the big man. Babich backs him up into the corner. 45 seconds on the clock.
And short right hand from Babich then. Switched off.
Andy, I just wonder at some point whether his corner, Mark Bennett, will have to take matters into their own hands. I know we've only got 3 rounds to go, but this is surely too much for their man to take it.
But he keeps punching back. There's been several times when I fought the corner where he stepped in, or ends of round where they thought that's enough. Have you ever seen that episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes a boxer? Because that's what I'm reminded of here watching Bennett.
And he's up against Trevor and Tatum here, and Alan Babich thumps in that right hand, then the uppercut through the middle.
He's banking on tiring Babich out and getting lucky in the later rounds.
Well, he's going to have to be very lucky, because he's going to have to somehow dredge up the performance of a lifetime in these last 3 rounds, because he's well behind on the cards and he's absorbed.
Yeah, the corners had enough.
I think that's probably the sensible thing to do here. They've got to save their man, because he is too brave for words, incredibly brave, and that was something to watch. And no one will ever question the durability, the toughness of Mark Bennett, but he was just thoroughly outgunned. 438 total punches through 5 rounds there by the savage Alan Babich. The English heavyweight title, and Andy, we talked about the guys putting it all on the line last week for the British, Commonwealth and European. This is a good fight for the English title, isn't it?
Interesting matchup. Nick Webb more tested, the bigger man. Fabio Wardley, precarious talent. We don't know how good he actually is. Could be very good.
10 rounds for the English.
But we're going to see.
So the English heavyweight title up in the air. Fabio Wardley, the champion, in those royal blue shorts with the white front. Nick Webb in white trunks trimmed with gold. They spent exactly the same amount of time outside the ring, both on that Gibraltar card where Dillian White avenged the defeat to Babich that he suffered in this very ring last summer. Webb riding a wave of confidence and momentum, as is Fabio Wardley.
15 seconds in, I think we've already saw something that we're going to see a lot of. Webb pushing forward with a jab, and Wardley looking to counter with a left hook.
Webb piling on the pressure early. Wardley just taking his time, dipping, slipping and rolling. Catches a right hand though. Webb then walks into a short left hook. And it has been in moments where Fabio Wardley's been hurt that he's been the most dangerous. We saw that against Simon Vallily, and of course we saw it against Eric Molina too. But Nick Webb has come out to stamp his mark on this first round. Wardley just holding the gap, looking for those shots, trying to see as much coming as possible. Webb, high, unpacked lead hand, just walks into a stiff jab down the middle from Wardley. Tries to thump a right hand over the top, but Webb just muffled the blunt impact of it from the gloves, and Wardley has turned in well, and they're trading up close here. Reckless stuff from both guys.
No feeling out.
No feeling out at all. It's not quite Babich and Bennett, but it's going to have to go some to come up with that. Nice chopping right hand from Nick Webb there. Problem is, Andy, with this kind of Michigan-style shell, Philly shell defence of Fabio Wardley, if you don't time it, that right hand can be chopped down over the top by taller opponents, and I think Fabio Wardley's in a bit of bother here.
As you said, Chris, he dips down to his right all the time, and what Nick Webb is doing now is just lining him up for it, and he's chopping down with that right hand.
He's just warm for a bit of forearm usage, trying to lever himself some space for that right hand, but Wardley has started sluggishly. Webb has done quite the opposite. Really good start from the big man from Chertsey. Wardley now puts his hands together, left hand comes through the middle, and now Webb is on unsteady legs. The right hand crashes through, and Wardley has had enough of this, and he's putting his hands together. And he's grimacing, Fabio Wardley. Right hand comes through, Webb in big trouble, and he folds in the corner.
That's a knockdown.
That's a knockdown. The ropes have kept him up. Webb is slumped in the corner, and the referee, Kieran McCann, has waved him off in the first round when it was all going so well. Wow. Blink and you miss it finish. Webb pushes away his corner man.
No complaints from Webb, even if I thought it was a little slightly early.
Well, let's have a look at the replays from 3 minutes of remarkable action. And Nick Webb started fantastically, and as you say, just Fabio Wardley took a little bit of time to get into his rhythm, but we know he's dangerous when he's hurt, and he proved to do exactly that.
Just when he turned him out of the corner, Webb just wasn't ready for the attack, and you can see the punches he throws. They're not conventional textbook boxing punches like straight 1-2s down the line. They're coming from all angles, and he's swinging it. It's like a baseball bat, the way he's swinging them.
You just wonder there, when he dipped the knees, whether the referee, Kieran McCann, should have jumped in and administered the 8 count, because ultimately the ropes that held him up, but he didn't, and Wardley then was able to let his hands go when Webb was in that crouched position, and those were the punches that finished him off. You see Webb just leaning back, trying to take the sting out of the shots, but just in the midst of a sudden hailstorm.
Yeah, and I'm sure you feel aggrieved now that it's over with, but when you're in that type of fire, and he thought, I'm not sure if he thought he was going to get stopped immediately there when he got down. I thought he might have took the count and came back the next round, because he had some success in the first round. But a fantastic win for Wardley.
You have to say, the way that he went through the gears, having started so sluggishly, it was almost as if he just went, enough is enough here.
And for a guy with no experience as an amateur, that was a big test, not just of him as a fighter, but as a good check. He was under pressure, he was getting hit with heavy shots, and he didn't wilt, he fired back in that moment.
And everybody is in great spirits here, but those two will have one thing on their mind and one thing only, and that is the IBF World Featherweight title. 8 years on from their first meeting. They've gone from boys to men here. They've boxed nearly 400 rounds between them.
Galahad has so many tools that he can use, so much variety, and just what he opts to use. He's using an overriding jab now. He's jabbing over the lead hand of Dickens, and it's been quite effective. It's just stopping Dickens in his tracks. Good left hand response.
Galahad has been a little vulnerable to that left hand. Again, he steps in southpaw now. So many changes of looks in these first 2 rounds. There is blood just starting to pour again from that cut over the eye of Jazza Dickens. The left hand comes through the centre from Galahad.
I feel like Dickens has gone away from his game plan here. He's getting a little bit drawn into Galahad's fight. He feels like Galahad might be getting on top a little bit, and he's just trying to respond. And in doing so, he's getting away from what was successful for him earlier on.
Galahad just never the kind of fighter that really hurts you with one shot. He just turns the screw makes life difficult.
Death by 1,000 knives.
Absolutely. The hottest of kitchens, and it's how cool the head can stay. And we know that Dickens is mentally strong, but he's right in deep here. Again, just sticks that left to the body, shovels the uppercut through the middle, catches Galahad clean, but again, just not really able to get his attention no matter what he tries. Galahad, double jab. Matthews and the corner just calling for Dickens to work. So how can he at this stage?
It's those body shots that are taking it. It's why he doesn't have the energy now to push forward.
And the canvas is just splattered with the blood of one of the bravest scousers you're likely to see in a boxing ring, and you know as a trainer, Andy, how much you can ask of your fighter. He's gone above and beyond the call of duty, and I think the only reason that they've left him in there is because of what's at stake tonight, and because, as you say, this may well be his very last opportunity at the big time. Galahad steps in again, puts his hands together in 4s and 5s. Jazza Dickens holds on, tries to spoil and smother, but Galahad is strong.
One of the coolest or spiteful things about Galahad is that even though he's dominating this fight so much, he's not throwing any big hard shots where the referee might have a chance to step in or the corner might step in. He's just pounding and pounding and pounding on Dickens.
Just a relentless forward march as we close out this 11th round. Dickens trying to dip, slip and roll back to centering, but Galahad holds on to him, doesn't let him. This is hard to watch now. I have to say, we've loved commentating on some of the fights tonight. They've been great fun and entertaining. This has been more and more difficult as the fight's gone on. The state of that eye as well. Not even the great Kerry Kays can do anything about that. And Derry Matthews, I think we know what's happened there. He has called time on this contest. Overcomes Michael Alexander. Kerry Kays nods, and it is all over. A moment to celebrate for young Kid Galahad, who finally becomes champion of the world. The late, great Brendan Ingle would have been proud of this young man. To see him reach the pinnacle tonight, another champion etched on the walls of the Winkerbank gym. Abdul Barry Awad, Kid Galahad can take a bow, son, because for all the battering and the difficulty in watching Jazza Dickens be broken up, that was a masterful World Championship level performance.
Clinical, dominant,